Yes, sir, we are live. We can start, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Okay. Sir, have you made the things public?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, thank you. Dear officers, a very good evening to one and all, and welcome to yet another beautiful session in the direction of understanding administration and organization. Two broadest concepts. Administration is a very broad concept in that public administration is one of the one. Inevitably, administration makes use of organization. There are many organizations. One of the organization and very pertinent organization for us is the government organizations. So now you can demarcate the two things. One is administration. The second one is with respect to organization. In the same line, moving forward, public administration and also government administration. In this regard, now we are discussing six major components. One, almost like before 1920. Before 1920, what all the things happened? In fact, 1930. So before 1930, what the theorist thought of organization, how best they can make use of these organizations in achieving the goal. Afterwards came human relations. Now, please message me, what are the characteristics of bureaucracy? So here we have got two subdivisions. One is open and another is closed. In that you have got three. Bureaucracy. What are the key features of bureaucracy? And a very, very pertinent point, all this what we are studying are general organization, general administration. Sorry. But only, bureaucracy has a direct relevance. Bureaucratic organization or bureaucratic theory propounded by Weber. I emphasize, I repeat, bureaucratic organization which is propounded by Weber is of direct relevance for government, because while Weber was writing, he was clearly having government or public administration in mind, and all other theories never kept their major focus as government. Is this clear? Only Weber, whatever he spoke of, at the back of his mind, he was having government administration. It is directly keeping that in mind he has written. Now, please let me know, bureaucratic organization or bureaucratic theory, what are the main components, main things? Hierarchy, okay, then very nice. Rigid rules, laws, hierarchy, great, then come on, you should be, otherwise your thought won't evolve. See, we are going in a sequence. Impersonal relations, great, then based on rules and regulation. Why is it? What is the main purpose or object of bureaucracy? Why is it formed? Okay, listen to me now. Very important. It's a impersonal organization. Very good. Goel has get enactment and execution of laws and rules. Okay, coming back to bureaucracy, it's an impersonal organization that you have to keep in mind. And this organization is based on merit. The people who work in this organization are career based, not one day contractual, like career based. What is a career? If a person spends considerable amount of his life in one job, and if there is an element of promotion, that we call as career. Clear? Why is it for meant? It is meant for enactment and execution, right? These are the key things. Afterwards, scientific management. Please give me some important key terms with respect to scientific management very fast. One best way, great. Are you applying the one best way? What is the one best way to make best use of your day? Then, other than that, come on. Time study, motion study, great, Dubeji. Then, what was the concentration? What was the focus of these people? What is the greatest defect? Work floor or shop floor? Mechanistic approach, great. What is the meaning of mechanistic approach? Please, very important one. So mechanistic means treating people as machines. This is one of the greatest economic man, great. Motivation is directly related to money. Then they applied many methods like piece rate system, all these things. Yes, very good. Gear wheels. They want to make humans as efficient as machines. According to scientific management, should the worker start any work? Very good. Mental revolution. Then, should the worker initiate the work? No. So what is the implication? What is the implication? What is the conclusion? One of the important assumptions of scientific management is that a good worker is one who does not initiate. What does the implication with respect to workers? Implication with respect to this same. Here, worker should not initiate means he's not having that capability. He cannot decide what is good, what is bad, what is best. Clear? So here, like a machine, what they are doing? First, they are developing the science of work, means one best method by motion and time studies. Work with respect to work. Afterwards, who is there? Worker. Scientifically selecting him, training him, teaching him. Even after that, if he is not performing, remove him. So now two things are very clear. Work is scientifically made. Scientifically, they have selected the workmen also. Then combine these two. Great. Nice. Afterwards, one of the greatest defect was here, considering the things or concentration on the shop floor, the lower levels. No importance was given to personal relations itself. First of all, importance was not given to the individual itself. Leave apart these things. Then afterwards came your classicals, like classical theory. In this, they said that we have identified, we have deciphered, we have formulated some principles which are immutable, which are applicable in all circumstances, in all places, universal. Yes, there too, they did not consider the relations which an individual has in the organization. This was revealed by Elton Mayo Haworthorne studies. For the first time, worker can think, worker groups have an impact on production, informal organization, and also they spoke about participative management. Link the things. Never before in the history of humankind, they thought that workers should participate in management. For the first time, it revealed all those things. Like human relations. Next, it was just a beginning. Elton Mayo showed that human relations are important. Afterwards, it was systematized. Here, the key term is behavior. Then they concentrated. Okay, Mayo has shown that behavior of the person or the interpersonal things are very important. Then what motivates this behavior? In addition, economical, social, psychological aspects, behavior, they accept the authority. Previously, authority was imposed. Here they said that authority is accepted, then only it can be called authority. What motivates? What are the leadership styles? How communications happen? Communication means order. How orders are passed. All these things they give importance. Right? Here now you can see it is once again a kind of partial thing. Please internalize. We are going to the next stage. In this organization development, organization को develop करना है. How? So here, for the first time, they took organization as a unit. Is that clear? What is the most important thing, striking thing? Organization, we have to make it effective, viable, sustaining. So there was a planned approach from the top, from the higher authorities, from the higher management to improve the organization as a whole. Here, they tried to do some of the things where, in case of behavioralism, they just explained. Behavioral was descriptive, human relations descriptive. Here, they tried to give some of the tools and techniques. I repeat. So here, very important. Forget about all the things. Just concentrate the things now I am saying. Human relations. They found that human relations are important. In a systematized way, behavioralism, the same thing. Greatest lacuna here was they did not give any tool, any technique. Behavioralists never gave like this you have to do, this you have to do. They just describe how authority is accepted, how the production is controlled by informal organizations. So a step forward to fill the gap here, organization development came. It was a prescription. And in fact, it was a planned change. Say, for example, Sambhavam IAS organization. Here, we will plan, has to remove all the deficiencies. Say, for example, management and teacher interacting, students and teachers interacting, teachers and students and management interacting, providing new channels of informal communication so that all are coming and telling their things openly without fearing, like being judgmental, right? So nowadays people, organization development consider organization as a unit and try to improve organization. Once again, very important, greatest lacuna of this is they considered only organization. They did not consider about the environment. They never considered organization as a unit in its own system, in its own environment. And in fact, that gave rise to another school known as systems approach, which gave more importance to systems. Clear? So some of the things, human relations and behavioralism is a continuum. Human relations talked about human relations. Behavioralism concentrated about behavior, which is linked to authority, motivation, control, that is communication, leadership, all these things. Next, one of the defect was behavioralism and human relations was only descriptive. To overcome that, to make organization very efficient and effective, organization development came into being. There the defect was, it was considering only organization as a unit, surrounding things were not considered. So organization has a unit in its own environment, that is system approach came into being. So any doubt with respect to these things? If you have got any doubts, please let me know. Okay, now please note one more important thing. Come back to the closed model. Here there is a confusion with respect to sir classical में क्या है वो है. Like I'll make the things simple here. First and foremost, classical approach. I repeat, classical approach is different. Classical theory is different. I repeat, classical approach is a broader one. Classical approach has three things: bureaucracy, scientific management, and classical theory. Classical approach, a bigger one, it has got three things. One is bureaucratic, scientific, and classical theory. Classical theory or administrative management. Foyle, Urvik, Gulick, most important, Moni and Relay. Right? Any doubt here? Okay, great. So now let's get started with some of the important things in a very systematic way. And this is organization development is a very small one. It is not directly in your syllabus. I'll be giving the crux. It will be over maybe another like 20-30 minutes. Afterwards, once again, we'll go and study the systems approach in detail in comparison with all the things what we have done till date. Okay. Organization development. It's an important subfield of open model. So here the origins can be traced to the psychologist, social psychologist Kurt Lewin. It owes origins to Kurt Lewin. So here he did Harwood, not Howard Throne, Harwood studies. It was named after manufacturing unit, the textile plant. So here historically the roots go to laboratory training and survey, afterwards research, afterwards feedback. So don't bother about these things. We'll be studying these things when we take up next organizational development. So important points to note here. Origin, it began with Kurt Lewis, Harwood studies. And it has got roots in laboratory training and surveying, afterwards researching, feedback. Survey, research, feedback. It's a continuous one. So definitions. Here, there are two definitions. One is systematically giving the gist of the one and another in-depth understanding. So according to the simple definition, it's a planned process of change in an organization culture. So what is the most important word here? Organization culture. In a planned way, organization culture is changed. So what do you understand by work culture? You have studied this work culture. Please do answer. This, I think most of you have completed a course on ethics and you may be aware of these things. What is work culture? Work culture, not hierarchy. No, no, no. What I'm asking is, okay, in general, say for example, in an organization, we say that an organization has a work culture. So generally, what does work culture means? Don't take the things which we are discussing now. Okay, listen to me now. So then here, first of all, culture. What is culture? Culture is that which is passed on from one generation to the other generation. which is learned, which is accepted by most members of the society or group, right? Now bring that in line with work culture. What is work culture in an organization? So here, set of values, set of norms, set of working patterns, which are passed on from one member to the another member, which are carried forward. The key term will be which are carried forward in the organization for a very long period of time, right? Say, for example, Sambhavam IAS. Here, how management treats the teacher, how teacher teaches the students, how students treat the management and teacher. All these things, there is a culture. Say, for example, if you join an organization, Infosys has its own culture. You won't be aware of these things. Infosys is an organization, it has got its own culture. Amazon has its own culture. Tesla has its own culture. TCS, Tata Consultancy Services or Tata Group, they have their own culture. Say, for example, Infosys, there's a different ways there. To begin with, say, for example, Infosys, how recruitments are done generally to any individual. First, they will take a large amount of people, large group. Say, for example, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, anything maybe like that. They will give like 8 to 10 months online training. Online means you'll be doing those things from the place where you are. Afterwards, they will call those people who get selected in this to their campus in Mysore, Tipu Sultan, Mysore. There almost it is said that this Mysore campus is like Labasna, Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy, like that. Afterwards, here no payment. Here they will make some like minimum payments, like 3 to 4 lakhs per year. Afterwards, whenever they get the project, they will assimilate these people. So here they have got distant ways. This is the way in which they recruit. Clear? So here similarly, every organization has a culture. What we are doing in organization development is we are in a planned way changing the organization for the good. How? By utilization of behavioral science, technology, research, and theory. What do you understand by behavioral sciences? Behavioral sciences. What are behavioral sciences? Very good. Behavioral science study of human and animal behavior. We study the behavior. Very good. Very nice. This is it. So here, behavioral sciences are those which study the behavior. In this, they take two things into consideration, humans and also animals. Though our focus is only on humans, we take animals also. Why? Because we share many things with animals. And another thing is, animals can be tested like any other thing. It can be treated as thing and tested in laboratory. Humans cannot. Can humans be treated like this and be tested in a laboratory? No. Because of these limitations, we also take some of the primates. We do some research with rats, pigs in laboratory condition, and afterwards we'll try to apply these things, right? In that regard, psychology, anthropology, sociology, economics, and criminology are said to be behavioral sciences. So, simple definition, behavioral sciences is a scientific study of the behavior of humans and also animals. That's it. So, what is the organization development? It is a planned process of changing organization culture. The key term is change in organization culture. In a planned way, in a systematic way. How? Through behavioral science, knowledge, technology, everything related to them. Is the definition clear to you? Say, for example, a collectorate. How the collectorate work? Changing the behavior there. Say, for example, parliament. Parliament is an organization. Lok Sabha is an organization. So here, Lok Sabha has a culture. Do you agree? Lok Sabha has a culture. Do you agree with this? Okay, great. So similarly here, Lok Sabha culture, how to change? By taking clues from behavioral sciences. Why someone behaves like this? Why other person behaves like this? Why a party which has got majority behaves like this? Which has got no majority, how they behave? All these things will be in a planned way changed. The similar same definition in a elaborate and in a very in-depth way. Once again, it's a planned organization wide, means not any part or any area, throughout the organization. And this attempt is directed from the top, not from the lower cadres. It's a planned one, number one, it's organization wide, it's directed from the top, that is designed to increase organizational effectiveness and viability, sustainability. So, what is the motto? To increase the organizational effectiveness. Previously, in that definition, we studied that has change in organizational culture. So, increase the organizational effectiveness and viability through calculated interventions in the active working of the organization using the knowledge from the behavioral science. So here, both the definitions almost are similar. You can see two important things here. One is it is taking all the technology knowledge from behavioral sciences. Second most important thing is it's planned. It's organization wide from the top. Increase the effectiveness and viability. So here, often students get confused with two important terms, efficiency and effectiveness. Can anyone differentiate this? What do you understand by this? Efficiency, effectiveness. What is effectiveness? Okay, let me give a simple example, which is given by DOPT. Say, for example, Sambhavam IAS is an organization. Yes, IAS, right? We conducted a training program for teachers, for faculties, right? So maybe think that this training was with respect to language and communication skills, improving the language and communication skills. So in this training, all the faculties showed like very good results. Their language and communication increased. There was improvement in these two things. So we can say that the training was efficient. Training was efficient. Clear? Any doubt here? Since there was considerable increase in the proficiency of language and also communication skills, the training which we undertook was efficient. Afterwards, next question is, was that effective? Was that effective in increasing the understanding of the concepts by the students? If the answer is yes, we say that the training was efficient and also effective. A teacher's communication language skills might have improved, but it is not having any impact on the learning of students. Then we say that it was only efficient, not effective. Any doubt with respect to this? Yes, effectiveness is related to results. Very nice, very nicely said. Right? Any doubt with respect to this term? Okay. Now, what is the mission? What is the goal of organization development? So let us go back to the definition. One says that changing the organization culture. Second is with respect to effectiveness and its viability, and that's making it strong organization. So in that, what are they intending to change? What is their mission in this one? Number one, improving the individual members' ability to get along with others. In an organization, there may be fight between one individual with another individual. There may be a fight between the workers and the management. So here they are trying to improve the individual members' ability to get along with other members. Second is legitimizing human emotions. You get sometimes upset, you sometimes depressed. So here we should not think as something negative. We should think these things as part and parcel of human existence, the behavior of an individual. Legitimizing human emotions, increasing the mutual understanding among the members. Say, for example, scientific management thought that workers' interest and management interest are antagonistic. What is the main implication? There is no mutual understanding of the things. Take any IAS institution. Interests of students and interests of teacher and interest of management, they are complementary, they are not antagonistic. Until and unless there is no understanding between these, they feel that like students are trying to they are antagonistic to teachers welfare or management welfare. It is not like that. If teacher is satisfied, definitely it will have positive effect on teachers. It will have positive effect on management. It will have positive effect on institution. Generally, always in any organization, you have like gone through and have tested, have touched in touch with many different organizations. There is always a tension, reducing tension. This not only with the management and the worker, it is between the workers also. Enhance team management and intergroup cooperation. An organization, say for example, if you take the organization like ISRO, one may be working on cryogenic engine, another may be working on some propulsion system, another may be working on fuels, another may be working on design. So he encouraging cooperation among the different groups, enhancing team management and intergroup cooperation, develop more effective methods of conflict resolution using non-authoritarian and interactive methods. What may be, can you think of evolving best methods for conflict resolution? More effective methods of conflict resolution. Who spoke in depth or who emphasized more on conflicts and conflict resolution? Which theorist spoke in depth for the first time with respect to conflicts? It was Mary Parker Follett, right? The best method according to them is integration, where both will be having win-win situation. So evolving methods like that. Evolve less structured and more organic organizations. Structured organization leads to compartmentalization, superior subordinate. Organic. What is the meaning of organic? Interconnected. One is connected to another. That is one point. What is organic? There is huge network of interconnectionness. Second point is it is a one. It's a union. It acts as one force. Unity. Right? So please read these things fast once. Missions of organization development. Okay. What about others? If you are done with, please let me know. Okay. Seventh point. Okay, great. Evolve less structured and more organic organizations. Hierarchical structure, an organization having hierarchical structure is said to be structured. There is more superior subordinate distinctions. On the other hand, when the parts of the organizations are interconnected and they act as an organic whole, not individually acting, they act as one to evolve organizations like that. So here the key term is organic. How to understand this term organic? Equate it to organism. What are the features you find in organisms? Each and every part is interrelated. And in that one, there is nothing like structured, like hand is separate, leg is separate. No, it acts as an organic whole. Right? Clear? Okay. Then coming to methods and techniques. Methods and interventions. So this is a simple one. So here techniques. Some of the techniques used. So why these techniques are used? Please answer this. What are the objectives? What are the missions of these techniques? Okay. So this is there. Okay. Less systematic, more organic. Less systemic than that, you can say that less structured and more organic, to change the organization culture, to change the behavior. So in all these things, what we are using techniques like sensitive training and employee surveys. So sensitivity training, I'll give a brief idea with respect to those things later. Employee survey, just surveying the employees. So here these techniques are developed to encourage interpersonal candor, means frankness. There should not be any hesitation. If a subordinate has got anything, he has to share with the management, with the worker. Similarly, the management also being open, being honest, being frank. So sensitivity training and employment surveys encourage being open and honest, and create a interwoven, well-knit managerial grid that facilitated coordination within the organization. Right? So two most important thing is, one is to encourage the people to be open and honest, and afterwards facilitating coordination. I'll explain these things in brief later. And the most important thing, most striking thing is with respect to interventions. So what is this interventions? These are outside agencies, third party agencies. Say for example, an IAS institution. How is the teacher teaching? Are the students understanding these things? To evaluate those things, if you bring some person from the student, some person from among the students, or some among from the management, it may not be objective. They may have got many things biased. So the third party agent or a specialist from outside is brought. Outside consultants who specialize in OD, they are called as third party change agents. So outside consultants usually oversee all these group and feedback activities, and they call their consultations as interventions. So here we are bringing the outside consultants to bring about considerable changes in the organization, right? We'll discuss about sensitivity training and managerial grit. Just for your curiosity, this is the one. Sensitivity training is a form of training with the goal of making people more aware of their own goals as well as their prejudice. In an organization, a teacher has its own goal. So he has to first understand what are his goals. Not only that, he has to understand the goals of the organization and how the individual goals, are they compatible, are they antagonistic. You should be aware of those things. Sensitive training is a form of training with the goal of making people aware of their own goals as well as their prejudices, more sensitive to others, and more sensitive to others and to the dynamics of group interactions. So here, when one most important thing from all this thing is being empathetic. Being empathetic. Empathy in this regard, not only understanding yourself, but also others, and also the group. What are their goals? Why they are acting like this? Why a worker is acting like this? Why a manager is acting like this? What is his goal? In this, it is a kind of psychological training in which intensive group discussion and interaction are used to increase the individual awareness of self and others. What is done here is, say for example, an organization. In this, management, worker, technical people, all these people, they are allowed to talk freely, openly. Intensive group discussion and interaction. So they explore some of the things which they might not be aware. Say, for example, a common thing which happens with respect to religion. Hinduism has got its own principles and things. Similarly, Mohammedan, similarly, the Christian. There are many tenets here. If we don't understand the basic tenets, we won't be aware of the things. Why certain person is acting like this? There are some basic differences. Say, for example, Mohammedan and the Christian. These are more evolved and the latest fruits. They talk about monotheism, means the only God is the God which they believe, and all other things are just not gods. In fact, Shaitan, it may be. Christianity also the same. On the other hand, Hinduism is a different one. Here, it's a thing like those who believe God are also Hindus, those who don't believe God are also Hindus. It is not that rigid. In fact, Hinduism evolved as a way of life. These are based on books, holy books. These are based on prophets, Paigambar. So these two are kitab based and Paigambar based. This is not like that. But one similarity are the torch bearers of Hinduism. You can say that the Brahmins. These are the people who are maintaining the customs, traditions, all these things for long. In a way, that work done by the holy books and the prophet is done by the Brahmins. So here, coming back to the notion of God, if we make these people to interact fully, then we will understand why certain person is acting like this, why certain person is acting like this. Is it coming in the way of their beliefs? Then they will understand to what extent a person in a religion he is religious, to what extent he is a fundamentalist, to what extent they believe. Until and unless you know this, you cannot have more tolerance, you cannot have more understanding. Tolerance is harmony in diversity. So similarly here, all the people are put together and they are made to discuss. Managerial grid model is a self-assessment tool by which the individuals and the organization can identify a manager's or leader's style. What is the type of leadership style needed? What is the leadership style present? It is self-assessed by the people who are involved in the study, in the organization. Right? A simple one. No need to bother about these things. We'll discuss these things in detail later. Right? Okay. So now let us just brush up the things which we have discussed very fast. In human relations, they gave more importance to human relations. Later, behavioralism, with respect to behavior, the things affect. The greatest lacuna is they were not prescriptive and they did not give any tool or anything for improvement. So that led to the development of organization development. So initially it was like origins go back to Kurt Lewin, Harvard studies. It is a planned process of changing the organization culture. In this, the things are planned. It's organization wide from the top to increase the effectiveness and vitality. It's a calculated intervention taking behavioral science knowledge. The main mission is to improve the individual member's ability, legitimize the human emotions, increase the mutual understanding, reduce tension, enhance team management, develop more effective methods of conflict resolution, and with using non-authoritative intervention methods, and evolve less structured. Less structured means one part is not very much connected with another part. On the other hand, less structured and more organic. Organic means there is a great interconnectivity and they are acting as a whole, not individual. In this, techniques and interventions are used. So sensitivity training and also employment surveys are used. So interventions refers to outside consultants bringing about considerable changes in organization, right? So if you have got any doubt, please let me know. Okay. Now, let us just briefly discuss the things which we have already discussed. So I'll be moving a little fast. Organization as a unit in its environment. So these are the most important thing here is adapting to environment is the most important thing. So that is the reason it is said to be adaptive systems or contingency theory. Characteristics, coming to the characteristics, organization as a whole is taken, focus is on the pressures which are emanating from the environment. Previously, everything was considered within the organization. Dynamic networks and the balance. Organization is made up of dynamic networks and the organization has to balance with the changes which happen in the environment. An organization which adopts survives, which doesn't perishes. When, please answer this question. When the environment is stable, when the environment is stable, what kind of organizations are suitable? Number one, flexible. Number two, rigid. When the environment is stable, what kind of organizations are suitable? One or two? Please think it over. Okay. Then please tell me the same. Options are same, flexible and rigid. The question is, when the work is routine, repetitive, what kind of organization is suitable? Please think it over. Rigid. Great. Very nice. So, very nice. You have answered correct. When the environment is ever changing, flexible organizations are more preferred. All successful organizations, all successful organizations match the complexity of the environment. Say, for example, IAS institution. So, how does an IAS institution survive? Or if a IAS institution is successful, what does this imply? It has matched the complexity of environment. The environment here is many things, many organizations, many institutions, the laws, rules, regulations, civil service, everything. organizations adopt to the environment. How they adopt? Different theories have different views. Theories differ over precisely how organizations adapt. Adopting biologically means the way the animals adapt to their environment. Adopting rationally, the organizations which take rational decisions will adopt. Irrational decisions are taken means it cannot adopt. These two we have discussed. The third one is adopting politically. So here, adopting politically in this regard, it has got the important things from biological and rational things. It is said to be the more accepted one. Let us discuss these things in a systematic way. Adopting politically reconciles the biological and the rational schools. Focus on political interactions which happen related to power, related to vitality, is realistic. It allows organization to adopt both biologically and also rationally. So here two things are combined, reconciled. The way an organism adapts to the environment and also the way an organization adopts by applying rational thought, rational things. Both things are allowed here. Adaptation combines heart and head. So here the implication is the same. So allowing biological and rationally. So head related to the rational things. Biologically, that everything like the main focus becomes heart. So it is said to be adoption combines heart and head. Let me elaborate these things. This school reconciles the biological and rational schools. It does so by focusing on political interactions. The concentration here, very, very important. In the first school, the concentration was biological. Second was rational. The third school, the focus is on political interactions. The key point here. Political approach to the organization is realistic as it recognizes that organizations are highly diverse with multiple divisions of labor and vast difference of goal held by their member. Take the previous one, adapting biologically. So here, organism is taken as one. There is no differentiation. Say, for example, a human is an organism. They never treat hand, leg, or your body as different ones. But here, we are giving due consideration and also removing this lacunae. This may not be applicable to the organization. In organization, there may be different subunits. Say, for example, government is an organization. In that legislature, executive, judiciary, they have got their own division of labor. They have got their own goals. Or do you take any organization? Say, for example, Amazon. One subgroup may be involved in technology, research. Another may be involved in manufacturing. Another may be involved with respect to marketing. Another may be supplying. They have their own goals. So there is multiple division and vast different in the goals held by their members and also subunits. And here, very important, in case of biological things, the parts are not allowed to leave. Your hand cannot leave. But here, members are free to leave with few exceptions. Example is prison. Prison is also an organization. There they cannot leave. See here, most important thing, the striking features of these things is they are recognizing each and every aspect. In our previous things, we never discussed these things. An individual is allowed to leave the organization. We never thought that different divisions, different individuals have their different goals. So these are recognized here in this approach. This combination of many internal differences and few sanctions allows organization to adopt both biologically and rationally. So here there is a combination of two things. What is that? Differences in division of labor, goals, and few sanctions. They're free to leave. They're allowed to act the way they want. By this, there is a reconciliation. There is an approach where both biological and rational things are taken into consideration. Biologically, in that environment, forces affect discrete organization element differently. Rationally, in that each of these elements is dealing with those forces in logical ways that protect their own interests. Right? So by providing these things, the benefits of both the rational and the biological approaches are taken. Right? Please read this. If you get any doubt, please ask me. Okay. Let me pour a little more light on this in this regard. If at all, if you have got any confusion, don't worry. These are the things which are not like directly in our syllabus, but they are important. The reason I am given, because these are given in Nicholas Henry book. Nicholas Henry is the climax with respect to the content, with respect to the literature. Say, for example, there's a change in environment. This change in environment has different effect on different parts. Say, for example, environment becomes too cold. The limbs are the ones which affected more. Head is the one which is more susceptible, right? So here different parts are affected in a different way. We are considering that also. Biologically, like this combination of many internal differences and few sanctions allows organization to adopt biologically and also rationally. Biologically, in that environmental factors, for any organization, environmental factors affect discrete organizational element. If there is a change in the environment, one may be more affected. One part of the organization may be affected more. Sales may be affected more. Research may be affected more. When there is a change in environment, different elements are affected differently, not just the whole organization. Right? Rationally, in that each of these elements, in dealing with those forces in logical ways that protects their interests. When the environment changes, the parts, say for example, technical organization, research, marketing, other, they act in a way which is rational, right? So very good evening, right? So here, don't worry, don't bother too much. These are little technical, not common sense. But just internalize the things which I have given here. The reason being, the questions will be based on the literature I am giving. I repeat, with respect to UPSC, one of the biggest defect is students are going beyond something which is not present in the usually referred UPSC books. Say, for example, NCRT, budget, economic survey, India Air book are the things which UPSC is referring. The reason being, UPSC want to be fair. UPSC want to base the things on accurate things. UPSC want to base the things which are very formal, which are authoritative. Instead of you reading NCRT, if you are reading something, some book by Mahatma Gandhi or some scholar, it may not help you much. The reason being, questions are picked directly from these books. So these are the books, these are the words. And in fact, Nicholas Henry is one of the toughest books. In the market, there is a thing like Mohit Bhattacharya is the tough. No, इससे बहुत tough है Nicholas Henry. In that, I will mark you and I will also give you the exact chapters and the pages which you have to stress upon. I wish and hope that I will cover all the things which are there in these books, which are very important. Okay. In the political model, organization adopt combines heart and head. About has opt a description as we can imagine. So it's just saying that both the things are combined, right? So now let's go a little fast. So this is given under foreign authors category, the same things, systems approach, also called modern organization theory, right? It has got three important things: parts of the system, interacting with each other part, and interaction between the system and its environment. So this we have already studied. System is a complex whole, means it is acting as one with number of parts. So these parts are known as subsystems. They are interrelated and also interdependent. Subsystem in turn contribute to the functioning the system as a whole. System has a definite boundary through which it interacts with the environment. This external environment of the system is said to be supra-system. So just keep two things in mind. Subsystem, these are part. The external one, supra-system. System consists of 5 basic parts. So input is processed and output is given to the environment. And there is changes made through the feedback mechanisms. Okay, these are things which we have already discussed. Now let us study the things with respect to systems approach in a very systematic way. So you have to give impeccable concentration because we'll be going little fast as we have already covered most of the things here. Okay. So growth and rise. With respect to growth and rise, first comes Ludwig van Betlem. After that, we have got Mary Parker Follett, who seized organization has a social system. Then Chester Burner, first comprehensive explanation of organization from the point of systems. He called organization as a cooperative system. Then Norbert Wiener. Then you have got Albert Simon, chief contributor. Then you have got Harris, Philip Selznick, Tavistock Institute of Human Relations. These are just factual. Please go through these things. Then basic parts. This we have discussed. So organization as a social system. Organizations falls under the open social systems and shares all the characters which we have discussed. So here, this is the one. Organization is a one which is made up of many systems which we discussed. Supportive system, maintenance systems, adaptive system, social cycle system, structure system, technical system, and management system, which will be integrating all these things. In that, you have got environment with respect to economic factor, with respect to technical matters, with respect to political matters, and also with respect to social matters. The same things here: technical, supportive, maintenance, adaptive, psychosocial, structured, managerial. Categories of system: open and closed. Here, social and biological systems. Social and biological system means society, group. These are open systems, while mechanical and physical systems, maybe say for example, operating systems, a machine, all these things are said to be more intense, precise form of closed system. Open systems have permeable membranes and are in contact interaction. So this is the most important things. What are open systems? These have permeable boundaries. There is a contact interaction between the environment. In closed systems, you have got impermeable membranes and do not interact with the environment. So this needs to be a little explained. What is entropy? Anyone aware of this term? Please let me know. Entropy. What is entropy? Anyone? Gives free energy. Very good. Still for common man. So entropy is a measure of tendency of a system to disintegrate. Right? Let me explain this in a very simple term. So entropy is not that important, but you should have some understanding of the things. So here, disintegration. Say for example, there is one thing which is more disintegrated. Then you have got high entropy. Afterwards, from disintegration, think that integration is taking. So this is having less entropy. Less entropy. So high entropy means high disintegration. Less entropy means more integration. Okay. One minute. Sorry for this. Sorry, there was some problem. Okay. Now, open systems develop through greater internal differentiation, specialization, and elaboration, and move towards higher level of organization. So this is with respect to open. Now read the same below with respect to closed system. On the other hand, move towards disorder, disorganization, self-destruction. See here, this is a closed model. It has got impermeable memory. So it is not able to interact with the environment. Say for example, any organization, Infosys, Amazon, and IAS institution, when it becomes a closed, when it is not taking care of the things which are happening outside. Definitely, whatever may be happening inside, however good it may be, since they are not taking care of the environment and they are not in equilibrium, there will be increase in or moving towards disorder, disorganization, and self destruction. On the other hand, think that here you have got an open system, there permeable membrane. So here you will be having more differentiation, specialization, and elaboration. So they are moving towards higher level, right? Similarly, there are few words. Simply, you should be knowing the meaning of these words. Synergy means holism. Homeostasis means dynamic equilibrium. So, what is this dynamic equilibrium? Dynamic equilibrium is one thing that this is an organization and this is the environment. The most important thing is here, this is also not static. This is also not static. This is also dynamic. And this is also dynamic. In that, there is a dynamic equilibrium. See, both are changing, but there is equilibrium. It's a dynamic one, not a static one. In or change in environment brings the corresponding change here. So equilibrium will be maintained. Cybernetics, feedback mechanism, organism, the wholeness, all the cohesiveness, isomorphisms, similar properties. Iso means similar properties, morphisms. Equifinalities, finalities is result, similar result. Entropy is the measure of tendency of a system to disintegrate. So in fact, these are some of the things which are extra for you, but you should be aware of these things. Okay. Now we will discuss about classicals and systems in a very, very systematic way. The things which I have already explained. There are two schools of thoughts of an organization, namely classical approach and systems approach. So here you should not confuse the things here. Classical approach has three things. One is bureaucratic, another is scientific, and here classical theory. Classical approach includes all these things, right? Classicals, as we have studied, emphasize on formal structure, neglect informal relations and environmental factors. Hence, classical approach is known to be universal design theory. Systems approach considered informal relations, environmental factors in addition to formal structure. This is the most important thing which you have to give importance. So in systems approach, not just the informal organizations, it is including the formal ones also in addition to the environmental factors. So since they are giving importance to these things, they are not like universal models, they are dependent on situation. So it is said to be situational design theory. Okay, now specific differences. So read them first. This we have already explained, self-explanatory. Even then, let me just brief these things. When you are done with, please let me know. Now, the same things which you have understood, let me see. Okay, if you have not understood anything, you let me know. I will stress upon that more. See here, classical approach, closed model, right? Closed model are said to be non-adaptive, non-ecological, because they are said to be non-influenced by the changes in the environment. Open systems are said to be adapting and also ecological because they are influenced by the changes. In case of classical, static structure of the organization is emphasized. They are emphasizing on superior subordinate relation. They are emphasizing on the structural things. One is developing principles in this regard, and another is saying that it is an impersonal organization. On the other hand, the systems approach gave importance for dynamic process of interaction in the organization. So here, when it comes to organization and environment, the interactions, what the changes. Not only that, the emphasis was given to the things which are happening within the organization, which are of dynamic nature. Next, this you won't be aware of this. Assumes peoples in negative sense. Classical assumes people in negative sense. Can you give example? Negative sense means workers are lazy. Workers don't have mind of their own. Workers' interests are against the interest of management. So these are negative. See here, think. Please give your attention here. Think that this will be studying in depth. Think that the management or the administration of any organization thinks that students are troublemakers. Students are lazy. Students are not committed. Students are not interested. Many come for time pass. Many come for other things other than IAS preparation. If an administration or organization thinks like this, what will be the approach for this? What will be the approach? The approach will be definitely reflecting on, it will be having the basis here. On the other hand, think that all the students are studious. Students are very cooperative. They adjust some with respect to some things. They are ready to help. When we have these assumptions, it is said to be positive assumptions. So in the systems, we have these positive assumptions about people. In classicals, negative. Classicals considered mainly the formal dimensions of the organization. So what do you understand by formal dimensions? Please answer. Formal dimensions. Super subordinate relations. Okay, then command, great. Then rules and regulation. Very good. So here, say for example, a police organization. SP, SI, constable. So you are considering these relations based on rules and regulations. How they have to act, what they have to do, what rule says. Here they are not concentrating on the relation what a constable has with another constable, SI with another SI, SI with the constable out of the duty, not inside the police station, outside, or some relations involved. In case of systems, not only formal are considered, along with that informal, along with that what are considered? Next, third one, please answer. Formal relations, formal dimensions, informal dimensions, and next, what is the other dimension? Systems approach. What are the another main most important thing which is missing? Please answer. It's about the environment. Very good. Environment. So environment things are also taken care. Next, favors hierarchical structure of the organization. So here hierarchical structure means what is the most important thing? The communication happens in a scalar way, like a ladder. Say for example, constable interacts with the SI only through this channel. He cannot directly interact with these people. And also here, all the things related to planning, management, all these things are done by the head. On the other hand, here participative structures, workers participate in decision making. That aspect is taken into care. Okay. Examines human motivation only in economic terms. Here, economic, social, and psychological terms. Classicals views organization order as being imposed from the top. An IAS officer giving order to subordinate, SP giving to SI, manager giving to subordinates. On the other hand, with respect to system views, organization are as a situation phenomena, not as imposed. So what is this here? Situational phenomena. Situational phenomena. So here, order or communication or the leadership emerges from the situation. Orders are not imposed from anyone outside. Situation demands, the work demands. Right? Say, for example, here, if that would have been the case, let us compare like classicals. Think that this is an organization, classical organization. These people went for hunting. Think that this is a boss. Think he is an IPS. Any jungle or any command or Nixel affected area or any Kumbing area. This IPS officer will give order. Okay, Raghu, you go. You shoot this person. You do this. So this is the one. But think that a systems approach applying organization that went to the jungle, say for hunting or anything. Here, orders are not given by the superior or it is not imposed from the above. Say, for example, hunting elephants. Okay, Raghu is good in hunting elephant. He will come forward and he will say. And the situation of hunting elephant creates the order. Thinks that now the group is not having water. Then a person who can sense where the water is or identify some plants where water is stored, he comes into play. So here orders are given by the situation. These are the situation phenomena, not imposed from the top. Makes suggestions to improve organizational function. So here it is prescriptive. It is normative. Another word you can note it, normative. The classicals are suggesting some things. On the other hand, in case of systems, to a greater extent, they are descriptive. Only describes the organizational phenomenon, does not suggest anything to improve the functioning. Okay. Tendency to be deterministic and tendency to be probabilistic. So this I will explain with respect to leadership and other dynamics. It is a little complicated thing. Just as of now, you just keep this thing. Trends to be deterministic. Another is probabilistic. Assume single factor causation. Here assumes multi-factor causation, right? So any doubt with respect to the meanings, with respect to the comparison? Okay. Last point. Okay. Assume single factor causation. Say, for example, motivation. What motivation individual? Money. If there is any change, only one factor they will take into consideration. Here, multi factors. Here, say, for example, with respect to improving the organization. So, what is the factor considered? Principles. Here, they will be taking into consideration of all the things, social, economical, environmental factors, individual factors. Many factors are taken into consideration. Okay. The same things in a, okay. Before critical evaluation, we're left with another one, simply explaining what exactly system approach is. So just first you read these things. I'll explain these things later. Read fast because all the things may appear repetitions. If you're done with, let me know. Okay. Okay. Now listen to me. So here, five basic consideration with regard to systems approach to management, right? Total objectivity. What is objectivity? Total, sorry, not total objectivity, total objective of the system. So here simply we will be taking some of the aspects which are considered in system management, systems approach. Number one, total objective means each and every organ or subsystem has its own goals, its own problem. So these things are taken into consideration. Total objective and also measuring the system's performance. Second, systems environment acting as constraint. So many of you said that you have got confusion here. See here, this is system, right? These are subsystems. And this is environment. This is IAS institution. This is subsystem, one dealing with research, material preparation, test, teachers, and other with respect to other things. So this is inside. Outside is, say for example, new institutions have come into being. They are using new technology. Now I heard there are some apps for civil service preparation which are making use of artificial intelligence. So this all forms the environment. So here importance also should be given to the environment. आपका अंदर जितना भी आप मजबूत कर लीजिए, if you are not taking care of the system, sorry, if you are not taking care of the surrounding, your progress will be hindered. So as we have studied, major importance is given to the pressures which are emanating from the environment. So systems environment is acting as a constraint. Why? Because an organization, if at all if want to survive, has to maintain equilibrium. So if there is any change in the environment, corresponding changes have to be made. Say for example, Nokia as an organization, Micromax as an organization, they were the top one and top two sellers of cell phones. They were very good, but the environment changed. So this acted as a constraint. They were not able to adapt, right? Then also it takes into consideration systems resources that are put to use in the performance, all the things which we use, systems components, that is subsystems, their goals and activities. An organization may have subsystems. Say for example, Amazon, it may have marketing team, it may have like R&D team, may have human relations. So their subunits, sub goals, activities are taken, and management of the system, that is the whole parts, managing all these things. Management is the one which integrates all the parts. It's simply a the things which I have already discussed. These are the things which are considered in systems approach. Okay. So this we have done with. Now coming to the critical analysis. Now, can you tell some of the limitations of systems approach? Try. Try to give some limitations. I appreciate even if you give wrong answers. What are the limitations of systems approach? Think it over. Very good, very nice. So more importance is given to the external environment. A great point. Then others. So here one of the major critics is said to be, it's like very vague. They give some of the concepts which are very, very difficult to understand. Say, for example, we discussed about consideration. What are the things to be considered? There, the things they give are very vague, not precise, too abstract, over conceptual, and vague approach to the study of organization. Critics say that the conceptual framework provided by the systems theory for understanding the organization is too abstract, not crystal clear. Adopting biologically, adopting rationally, adopting politically. So here they have just made the things very abstract. All organisms, living beings, adapt to the environment. Similarly, organizations also adapt to environment. It is too abstract. Over generalization. We have seen the loopholes also. The way an organisms adapt is entirely different from the organization adapting. They're not like, though there are some correlations, you cannot take exactly the same things. And you're saying system effects and environment effects. Okay, you're just describing. You're not giving any solution. The approach lacks proper direct application to the practical situation. So systems approach, you're just describing the things. It does not offer any techniques or tools to analyze or synthesize. So it is more of descriptive one. Are you able to get the things? In case of our classicals, they were prescriptive. At least they were giving solutions. Apply scientific management principles, bureaucratic things. The organization will be efficient, effective. Here they are just describing. They're correlating for some things which may not be 100% correlated. Right? It is said that system approach neither recognizes the difference in systems nor specifies the nature of interactions and interdependence. So here it simply says in system approach, it says that there are differences, but it does not go into the specifications. What is the differences? What is the specific nature of interactions? It simply says interdependency. What is the nature of interdependency? So here there is a element of vagueness. It simply says interdependent, interrelated, but how? To what extent? It is not specified. Even with these limitations, we have got some contributions made by the systems approach to the organization theory. What are they? It has integrated and synthesized the classical, neoclassical, and the modern concepts associated with organizational thought. So it has synthesized the classicals, means bureaucratic, scientific, and the administrative management with the neoclassicals, that is human relations, organization development, behavioralism. Next, it conceptualization of organization environment interaction eventually become the precursor for the ecological approach propounded by F.W. Riggs. So here in public administration, three important theories you can note down. One is bureaucratic by Weber, another is Simon, and the next is Riggs. So ecological approach, which we'll be discussing in detail, has the roots in systems approach. It facilitated contingency management, situation management. Previously, they were not having the situation management, right? So this is the whole. And in addition, the closed and open model also, the same things which we have discussed. For your benefit, I have made the corresponding things and I have put them in the tabular form. Please go through these things, right? The same things in a point form. So now let me know like when you are willing to take the test, when you want the test to be. Okay, Sunday, many may not be. Okay, so now listen to me now. So here, out of my experience with respect to tests or exams, with respect to objective tests, some more students will participate because there will be only tick marking. When it comes to subjective tests, many of the students won't take test. This is a general phenomena noticed in like every batch. So here, think it over. Like, what should be the nature of tests you want? Like, do you want 2 hour tests, or to begin with, shall we have 1 hour test? How shall we move forward? So here, first, what you should be doing. Number one, you should read. Please listen to me. You should read, recall, and revise the things which I have given. This is the cream, this is the crux. More than 90% of the questions, I repeat, more than 95% of the questions can be answered with this. There are some things which will be definitely will be adding this with respect to this. Why I'm not adding is, it will make the theory very vague. See, I'm just giving you the core things. The peripheral things are to be touched once again. This will do. And there is another one condition. With respect to test, say for example, if I schedule a test, say for example, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So like most preferably, you should be taking the test in the given time. If not, you can take the test and write in your home. At least on the same day, you have to write and send it to me. Say for example, if I give the test on 10th, somebody if you write on 25th and send it to me, it will be very difficult for me. So with respect to test, two things. How I generally make the things. Number one, tests will be based on PYQs. This is the basic level. PYQs and simple questions. Simple questions. So in PYQs, we'll take some core things, not deviants. Next, after that, we will take FIQs. So what are these FIQs? The questions which may be asked in future year questions. Here we will be taking dynamic things. If I provide the dynamic and the future askable questions in the very beginning, students may run away. One of the reason is, I'll tell you. Number one is, we have taken the most difficult one, All the teachers, to a greater extent, they start with chapter number 1, which is very, very easy, which is just dealing with how public administration evolved from 1887 till date. That's very pretty easy. This is the most dynamic. It is the center, the crux, the linchpin of all the things. Right? So you may find it difficult, but believe me, this is the only difficult part. Then the next one, like which I want to like discuss is for the new students. Listen to me. Chapter number 1, I have already completed for old students. All the things are systematically done. So what I request is, please go through those videos once. Definitely, I'll be explaining those things. It will be better if you have gone through these things once. That is point number 1 with respect to chapter number 1. With respect to chapter number 2, almost we have completed the crux, the core. I may or may not take the things, like I may take 1 or 2 sessions, and once again I will revise these things in depth. That will be there. Then should we take chapter number 3, dealing with decision making, leadership, all these things, once again humanitarian, behavioralism related things? Or shall we move to the next topics which are very relevant and also very easy to understand? Say, for example, accountability and control. This is present in your GS2 and also in ethics. With respect to financial management, this is there in your GS3 also. So what is your opinion? Should we go for chapter 3, or should we go like already sir ये मुझे बोर हो गया scientific management, ये economic man, all these things? It will be kind of little relief. Let us switch on to something which we are aware of. Executive, legislature, center, state, district administration, Mauryan administration, Indianization of civil service, philosophical and constitutional basis of the government. So what is your opinion? Take time and give me feedback with respect to all these things. Okay, so here like so uh, so with respect to previous year questions, if you are not understanding with respect to chapter number 2 and chapter number 3, don't worry, because it will take time. These are new things, these are difficult things, most difficult. I think like you have to take minimum like 3-4 readings, intense preparation, then only you will be able to answer. It is not only with public administration. Public administration, in fact, very easy. It is the same with your economy, your anthropology, sociology. If at all, if you are not understanding that questions with respect to paper 2, with respect to Indian administration, with respect to the things like accountability and control, then definitely I will be of help to you in the very beginning. But with respect to chapter number 1, 2, 3, and chapter number 11, it needs repeated revision. It needs a short notes. It needs a synopsis. Until and unless you have made a very, very short note, say for example, scientific management, only half-page notes. Bureaucratic management, only half-page notes. Organization management, half-page notes. Systems approach, key points, and you have to read them repeatedly again and again. That is point number 1. Point number 2, as I already made this point clear to you, in mains, I repeat, in mains, the most important thing is understanding the question. If you understand the question, most of the work is already done. So what you should be doing? First, read the questions. Try to understand the meaning of the questions, not the answers. If you understand the question, definitely answers will be incidental. Definitely, like that is the reason. With respect to, you might have seen like Simon, with respect to Follett, with respect to Bernard, I have already given 30 years questions. Definitely, I will be giving other questions also. Since they are very vague and some new things are there, you may get confused. That is the reason I have not given. For the rest of the things, all the 25-30 years questions will be given to you, and we'll try to answer those things as we proceed. Okay. So then, keeping these things aside, is Ganesha festival celebrated in your state? So in southern part of India, we have got two festivals, Gauri and Ganesha. So who is Gauri? Gauri is the mother of Ganesha, the wife of Shiva. So today is the festival, Gauri festival. Tomorrow is Ganesha festival. So here what we do is, in the southern part, in every street, they will keep a Ganesha, which is made up of mud or clay, to be specific. After one day, some after 1 week, some after 9 days, some after 11 days, they will take this one, they will go through a procession and they will immerse in water. And since that is made up of clay, that will dissolve. So this is a great activity for especially children. In vernacular way, they say Ganeshana kundusbeku, means Ganesh ko bitana hai. So वो बिठाते हैं for 1 day, 3 days, or 5 days. Afterwards, they will immerse in water. Right? So having said these things, once again I repeat, don't worry about any other thing. With respect to optional, I am the person who have done like around some 15 classes live on YouTube. No one dare to do these things. They may give first class, second class, third class, fourth class, because they are the magnum opus of those teachers. They have made the things simple, very exciting, interesting. But none of the teachers, with respect to options and also with respect to mains preparation, they have not produced any videos. The reason is the things are very technical. It is not with only public administration, with others also. Almost like other than some YouTubers, some students, no teacher till date has broadcasted their class live on YouTube, because that shows many limitations, many things. Here, with respect to our class, our things, no, it won't be like that. As I have said, all the previous year questions will be given to you. Whichever question you may not be understanding, whichever question which is important, all these things will be analyzed. Not only that, we will be giving FIQs also. In most probability, these are the areas from which you will get the question. And I really appreciate your presence and your attention for having to a greater extent completed the most complicated, आपको ही नहीं मुझे भी, very complicated one to certain extent you have done with. Next, you have got very simple things once again, but they are, the problem here is they're very abstract. They're easy. It's a leadership. Some say that leaders are born. Some say that no, leaders are made. So once again, conflict. Others say that a great leader is one, irrespective of what the qualities he has, if he is able to make people follow. Let me ask you a simple question. Think that there is a person like with physically very strong, mentally very strong. He has got all the skills, all the knowledge, everything. He has got 3 followers, die hard 3 followers. Think that there is another person, Baba, uneducated, illiterate, unscientific, mentally backward, but he has got millions of die-hard followers. Who is the big leader? Who is the great leader? Okay, not big. Who is the great leader? Number 2, Baba or this person? Who is the great leader? It is always a person who has got more followers. Leadership is an influential quality. Whatever may be, see, the person who is having all the qualities, he may be a specialist, but he is not able to make others follow. So you may not be leader. That is one thought, right? These are some of the things. So we'll discuss more, and we'll bring the previous year questions also. But as of now, please give the material which I have given repeatedly. If you don't understand any of these things, there, you can ask me. Other things, don't bother. Right? Having said that, let me conclude the session. And also, I wish and hope and I pray that the Ganesha festival, which we'll be celebrating, the Ganesha said to be Vigna Vigna Nivaraka, removes all your difficulties and sorrows. Have a great day. Enjoy your preparation. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.